Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us on this beautiful Monday in America, an especially great day in America. Though it's a little chilly across America right now, weather-wise, at least here in the Northeast. And I spoke to some friends down in Florida. I heard it's a little chilly down there as well. Things in America are actually starting to heat up, and it's all thanks to the Republican leadership that has held strong through this government shutdown. And it wasn't to hurt the American people. It wasn't to harm our government employees. It was to make a statement that we're done paying for illegals. And we're going to get to all of that today. But I want to bring you the good news. It seems tonight, as we sit here for this episode of the Great America Show, we begin the beginning of the end for one Charles Schumer's political career. The Democrat base tonight is in an unhinged uproar after a handful of Senate Democrats cut a face-saving deal to reopen the government late last night. The Senate broke the Chuck Schumer-led filibuster last night after 8 Senate Democrats caved. That's right, the Democrats caved to join in with the Republicans to finally end this shutdown once and for all, at least for right now. The motion to invoke cloture on the House-passed continuing resolution was passed on the 15th attempt by a vote of 60-40. That was after John Cornyn tonight decided to show up for work. He was seemingly missing for a little bit, but they finally found him at the airport somehow. Republicans plan to amend the bill and attach 3 full year-long appropriations bills. 7 Democrats and 1 independent, Angus King, who caucuses with the Democrats, joined the Republicans and passed this resolution. Rand Paul, of course, as expected, the Thomas Massie of the Senate, was the only Republican no vote. The Democrats who caved, Angus King, as I said, of Maine, who caucuses with the Democrats, but it's an independent, sort of like Bernie Sanders. John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, who I think has been a decent human being throughout this whole entire process, going on news outlets and calling out the Marxist Dems for what they've done to this country. Catherine Cortez Mastro of Nevada, Jean Shaheen of New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, Jackie Rosen of Nevada, Tim Kaine of Virginia, Dick Durbin of Illinois. The House will now return to session on Wednesday to vote on the Senate-passed funding packages. They could have theoretically voted today, but the Democrats want to eat up all of their time. So how it works is they pass it, and then they go to discussion, and they get a crap ton of time to discuss this thing, and then it moves on. So theoretically, if the Democrats wanted to stop playing games, they could have ended discussion and opened the government today, but they don't care. They want to make everyone sweat as long as possible, but it's a done deal. So they're only just hurting the American people. The childish elitists folks on Twitter, on Blue Sky. If you don't know what Blue Sky is, it's the safe haven for the Marxist Dems who left Twitter. They are absolutely going berserk. And I want to go through some of the posts as the Gateway Pundit highlights it so brilliantly. These people are in a total meltdown, folks, going insane on Chuck Schumer. And this is the new Democratic Party, folks. This is the new wing of the Marxist Party. Those of you joining us on video, you'll be able to see here, and we won't read out the profanity for you, but here are some of the posts. Quote, "Learn these mother effers' names. They just betrayed every single member of the Democratic coalition and let Republicans rip healthcare away from 11 million people." And then he goes on to list Durbin, Hassan, King, Cortez Mastro, Kaine, Shaheen, Fetterman, and Rosen. He left out the ripping healthcare from the illegals. "This is a message of failed, feckless, and a leaderless party. We need a party with a backbone, and the only path to it is through a cleansing primary season. If your Dem is up for re-election and you aren't damn sure they're fighting the fascists with everything, primary the bastard." That's what the good folks on Blue Sky say. "The Democrat Party stabbed America in the back less than a week after America's voter gave the party a, quote, fight back mandate." What else do we got here? Another fellow on Blue Sky. "Expel the yes votes from the party and cut off all their access to fundraising. Then remove Schumer from leadership. Anything less is mealy-mouthed coward BS." Oh, boy, these people, how they turn another one profane. Most of them are related to profanity. "Dear Schumer, go F yourself," some of them. Spineless effing cowards. I hope your constituents don't forget when you're up for re-election. I'm so glad the Democrats finally get to see what it's like to have some in their party turn. We deal with Susan Collins. We deal with Lisa Murkowski, Mitt Romney, Rand Paul. So we deal as Republicans. We deal with this on a daily basis. These unhinged people. Senate Democrats with no skin in the game voted against America's sick and vulnerable. He leaves out the illegals too. They aren't returning until 2028. Or in Fetterman's case has nothing but contempt for the Democrat voters, all facilitated by Chuck Schumer. Don't be fooled. It's 65 to 35 minimum in the Senate against us. Welcome to the party, Marxist Dems. It's nice that you finally get to deal with what we deal with as a Republican Party each and every single day with abandonment. Except this was a little bit different. This is the American people who are being held hostage. If you're holding a politician, or metaphorically, of course, hostage, it's a lot different. The Democrats have been holding the American people hostage. So Bernie Sanders, and we're going to get to all this today, folks, but Bernie Sanders and this mandate they talk about, that was a week from tomorrow, last week, I should say. Tomorrow marks a week since the Marxist takeover of New York City. But I tell this to everybody I speak to, folks. This is the new Democratic Party. Zoran Mamdani is the new Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer's got himself in the middle here, and he's going to lose. He's going to be primaried, and he's going to lose. It's the changing of the guard. It's the same reason we're seeing these people start to retire. You think Nancy Pelosi is going to retire and give away all her stock advice for nothing? No. They don't want to be attached to this new wing of the Marxist Dem Party. Bonnie Watson-Coleman in New Jersey announcing today that she won't be seeking re-election. Dick Durbin, who voted yesterday, won't be seeking re-election. I think this is the start of the purge, folks, of the Democratic Party. And for the Democrats who are joining us on this show, and I can't imagine there's many of them, when you go to the ballot box and you go to vote for Democrats now, you're not voting for the John F. Kennedy Democrat wing of the party. You're not even voting for the Bill Clinton Democrat wing of the party, or the, may I say, Jimmy Carter Democrat wing of the party. Hell, I'd even say you're not even voting for the Barack Hussein Obama wing of the Democratic Party. That's how bad it's gotten. These Democrats are starting to make guys like Barack Hussein and Bill Clinton look like Republicans. Imagine that. I never thought we'd sit here and see this day of this happening. I never thought I'd say something like that. It wasn't even premeditated. It's just off the cuff. This is the new Democratic Party, folks. So if you're a Democrat listening to the show, watching the show, hating on the show, wishing me dead, think about it the next time you folks go to vote. Think about the leadership that you want. Is this what you want? Healthcare for illegals, illegal storming the country, city-run, state-run grocery stores, universal Medicare. I mean, is that what you want? Think about that next time you go to vote, because that's what these people want. And Bernie Sanders has been very vocal about this, folks. Had this to say after the vote.
8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, and in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we're already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened. So we've got to go forward, do the best that we can to try to protect working class people, to make sure that the United States not only does not throw people off of health care, but ends the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. We got a lot of work to do. But to be honest with you, tonight was not a good night. Thank you.
Do you realize everything he said in that was a lie? The millions of people being thrown off of healthcare premiums. That was all made possible because of Obamacare. The man is just an absolute blatant liar. I mean, it's so sick, and nobody calls him out on it. Nobody calls him out on his bullshit. Every word out of his mouth in that video was a lie. But nobody calls him out. We're taking a quick break here, folks. If you're joining us on YouTube or Rumble, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. Every little bit helps us, please. We're coming right back, folks. There's so much more to get to. President Trump issuing a demand to the air traffic controllers. Stimulus checks are going out, apparently. Supreme Court, some big cases there this week. We're taking it all up on the Great America Show, folks. Please stay with us. We're coming right back. Happy Monday.
I'm excited to announce that we're having a huge sale on overstock and brand new products. For example, MyPillow Percale bed sheets, every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. Our Percale bed sheets are breathable, cool and crisp, and they're perfect for spring and summer. And check out Rev 7, the next generation of energy drinks. It tastes great, and it gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. Best of all, it's actually good for you. And for a limited time, try our 3-pack absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs, or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88. Twin size, full size, queen size, king sizes, all $29.88. Inventory is extremely limited at this price, so order now.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us. And once again, happy Monday. If you're joining us on YouTube, Rumble, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. The more followers, the better. If you're joining us on audio, please be sure to give us 5 stars and leave us a good comment. So as I said, folks, the Marxist purge is continuing. Another Democrat representing announcing their retirement after Pelosi calling it quits. Marxist Dem Bonnie Watson Coleman announced this afternoon she wouldn't be running for re-election in 2026. She was first elected to the House of Representatives in 2015. The 80-year-old Democrat served over 50 years in public service in New Jersey. Watson Coleman was one of the New Jersey Democrats who stormed the detention center earlier this year to protest ICE. So now she's going to be heading off into the sunset to let another Marxist take over to continue to destroy the Marxist Democrat Party. So, folks, some of the people, some of the 8 people who voted in favor of keeping this government, ending this government shutdown and reopening the government was Dick Durbin, who will not be seeking re-election. Had this to say for his Marxist Dem counterparts.
After lengthy negotiations, an agreement was reached with the Republican Senate leader, John Thune. We will agree to open the government until January 30th, 2026. During that time, we will pass 3 bipartisan appropriation bills that will fully fund SNAP, WIC, and all the veterans programs, and finish our work on the remaining spending bills for this fiscal year. The agreement would also reverse the Trump administration's mass firings during the shutdown and prevent future ones through January 30th. We credit Senator Kaine of Virginia for this provision. Leader Thune has also promised the Democrats an opportunity before mid-December to present a Democratic bill on the floor with proposals to change the law and protect American families from dramatic health care premium increases. It is my fervent hope that this ends up being a bipartisan effort. It would be such an achievement of the Senate to finally return to that status. I've served in the Senate for 29 years, and I've never seen that kind of offer from a Senate majority. During the historic roll call last night, I walked across the aisle and met with Senator John Thune, the Republican leader. I told him that I was counting on him to keep his word on this agreement. He assured me he would. The fate of this effort depends on both the Senate and the House of Representatives. After a 7-week absence, the Speaker Johnson needs to call his members back and join us in the hard work that lies ahead. Many of my friends are unhappy. They think we should have kept our government closed indefinitely to protest the policies of the Trump administration. I share their opinions of this administration, but cannot accept a strategy which wages political battle at the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or the food for his children. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
So Durbin pretty much admitting that it was, it was all just political the whole time, which we knew, but now they're admitting it out loud. It's just weird that they come to this conclusion now. The interesting part about this whole thing will be some of those 8. Like I said, Durbin not running for re-election, but some of those 8 who may vote with the Republicans more. Because clearly the Dems are going to, the Marxist wing of the party are absolutely going to alienate Durbin, alienate, the 7 other ones, August King, Bonnie, Cortez Mastro, and the rest of them for voting with the Republicans. So I guess why not? Now, Bernie Sanders, we use him here as a staple all the time because he's the one who really started this entire thing, with his backing of AOC, going on a hate-filled tirade last night. He always talks about healthcare, but I don't think the man knows what the hell he's talking about. This was just moments after they voted last night.
I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today. Everybody in America knows that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is by far the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and the only healthcare system of any major country that does not guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight, what this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this country, for certain groups of people, it will be a tripling and a quadrupling of their premiums. There are people who will now be paying 50% of their limited incomes for health care. Does anybody in the world think that makes sense? And if this resolution is passed tonight, we are on a pathway to throw 15 million Americans off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. 15 million. Our job is to create universal health care. Guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child, not throw 15 million people off the health care they have, low-income and working-class people. And my friends, know what you are voting on. Studies are out there that when you throw 15 million people off of health care, some 50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every single year. Anyone think that's funny? Something to laugh at? Something to just go past? I don't. 50,000 Americans die unnecessarily. Now, I know as part of this resolution that the majority leader is going to say, well, Democrats can put together their own bill and it'll come to the floor here in the Senate for a vote. As everybody here knows, that is a totally meaningless gesture. You can get 100 votes here in the Senate. Won't mean anything because the House is not going to take it up, and the President of the United States certainly will not sign it. So, Mr. President, I hope
the same bullshit talking points, the same BS numbers. I mean, everything out of the man's mouth is a total lie. But this is the direction that they want to go in. Now, let's take a listen to one of these Democrats who voted in favor, Angus King from Maine, who's an independent caucusing with the Democrats. And he goes on camera on MSDNC Morning Joe and admits that keeping the government closed was a Democrat strategy that hurt people. And he also responds to Bernie Sanders calling on him and the 7 other Democrats who voted with Republicans traitors. He wants to know what the strategy was. Keep the government closed? Keep it closed indefinitely? Keep it closed through Christmas? Maybe Angus King woke up to the fact about what happens to some of these people that you're not paying, including the air traffic controllers. Take a listen.
I don't want to land at an airport in the United States with a sleepy air traffic controller because they're working double shifts. So any good general, if the strategy isn't working, you change tactics, and particularly you change tactics if your own troops are at risk. And that's really what's happening here. There was collateral damage to the American people. At the same time, the goal wasn't being achieved. So we're going to change. We're going to change the narrative, and now we have a guaranteed vote within the next month on the ACA tax credits drafted by the Democrats that the majority leader has agreed to bring to the floor. That's a big deal, and it gives us a chance to put the Republicans to the test. Are you going to work with us on this issue or not? In the midst of the shutdown, they just weren't talking.
So Bernie Sanders and other progressive leaders have said that you and other moderates that have voted to reopen the government going to cause great damage to the Democratic Party, and many will see it as a betrayal, and that voters will remember next November. What do you say to Bernie Sanders?
Well, I think what I'm saying is, what was your strategy, man? What was your end game? If we're going to extend the shutdown another week, another month, through Christmas, Thanksgiving, is that going to get us anywhere? The point is, there never was an end game if the initial strategy didn't work. And now we have one. We're going to have, as I say, a guaranteed vote on the ACA. And it may not succeed. I grant that. But a reasonable chance, 10, 20%, 30%, is a lot better than 0%, which is where we were as of yesterday morning. So I understand everybody wants to stand up to Donald Trump. Everybody wants to deal with the ACA tax credits. I do, too. The question is this the right tool to do it? And it's becoming counterproductive, and you can't ignore 42 million people not getting their SNAP benefits.
Told you exactly what it was, the end game, which is what it is for Bernie Sanders. And he's right. It's actually a little bit of breath of fresh air. Obviously, I don't agree with any of the Marxist and policies that he wants to put forward, but he's right. What is the end game? I mean, did you want to keep it closed till Christmas or Thanksgiving? What's the end game? Because the Republicans were showing no signs of caving. They were standing firm on it. So what was your end game? We're taking one more quick break here, folks. We're going to return here on the Great America Show. President Trump issuing a warning to air traffic controllers. Mike Johnson is speaking out, and $2,000 credits for each and every American before Christmas. All of that and much, much more here on the Great America Show. Also, a Marxist Dem caught cheating on his girlfriend. You're going to want to hear all about it. Take a listen. We're coming right back here, folks, on the Great America Show. Please stay with us. We're coming right back. I promise. Less than 60 seconds.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. and I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard My Pillows absolutely free.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on The Great America Show. If you join us on YouTube, Rumble, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe button, follow, all of that good stuff. Speaker Mike Johnson holding a press conference earlier today, and I got to give him a great deal of credit because credit where credit's due. I've been tough on him when I need to be tough on him, and give him credit when credit is deserving, because he's stood through this whole entire process and they haven't caved 1 inch, folks. And I think that's far different than what we would have gotten out of Speaker McCarthy, what we got out of Speaker Paul Ryan, what we got out of certainly John Boehner. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Take a listen. Let's listen in on Mike Johnson earlier this afternoon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very thankful to see you all this morning. I'm thankful to welcome you to what appears to be the beginning of the end of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, as shameful as that is. I don't think it's coincidental. You know how I think, but it's after 40 days of wandering in the wilderness and making the American people suffer needlessly, some Senate Democrats finally have stepped forward to end the pain. It appears to us this morning that our long national nightmare is finally coming to an end, and we're grateful for that. At least some Democrats now finally appear ready to do what Republicans and President Trump and millions of hardworking American people have been asking them to do for weeks. But as we said from the beginning, the people's government cannot be held hostage to further anyone's political agenda. That was never right. And shutting down the government never produces anything. It never has, if you study history. And so here we are. I want to remind everybody this morning of another critical point that you've heard me here repeat over and over the last several weeks. It's something that I and Leader John Thune and President Trump and every Republican leader have all said repeatedly from the beginning. We have always been open to finding solutions to reduce the oppressive costs of health care under the Unaffordable Care Act. We just made clear that we would not and should not ever do that, that is, negotiate as hostages. And I've also reminded you here every morning that this press, Republicans have not just been talking about reducing costs and fraud and abuse in so many areas and in health care. We've been actually passing new laws to accomplish that urgent mission for the people, and we will continue to do so. So here's where we are by way of schedule, just so you know, you're following. And if you're not at home, if you're waking up to this good news this morning, the Senate's vote late last night of 60-40 opens the door now. The Senate is moving forward on an amended House CR, a continuing resolution, that will reopen the government until January 30th. Added to that are provisions to fully fund SNAP provisions through the end of the next fiscal year, which is September 2026. Guaranteed back pay for all federal workers who have been made to endure these hardships over the last several weeks. And it also includes passage of 3 appropriations bills, which we're grateful to be moving through the process. That is the Military Construction and Veterans Affairs bill, it's the Agriculture bill, and the Legislative Branch bill. The Senate will be back in session this morning to finish their job, and we're certainly praying that they do. They'll need unanimous consent from all senators to fast-track their final vote. As you know, there are some procedural hurdles that one or more could throw in the way, but we certainly hope that they won't do that because so many people across this country are desperate for the government to reopen. At the very moment that they do that final vote, I will call all House members to return to Washington as quickly as possible. We'll give a 36-hour formal and official notice so that we can vote as soon as possible to pass the amended CR bill and get it to the president's desk. As you all know, and he said as recently as last night, I was with him, and he told the press, he said, we want to get the government open. He's very anxious to get the government reopened and to end the Schumer shutdown. We all are. With regard
So as you heard Speaker Johnson there, it's looking like probably Wednesday will be the day that the government reopens. But it's possible if the Dems give their unanimous consent, we can get it open tomorrow night. But we'll just have to wait and see. President Trump is issuing a warning to some air traffic controllers who decided to take off during the government shutdown, posting this on Truth Social earlier today. Air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who are great patriots and didn't take any time off during the Democrat shutdown hoax. I'll be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to this country. For those that did nothing but complain and took time off, even though everyone knew they would be paid in full shortly in the future, I am not happy with you, in all caps locks. You didn't step up to help the USA against the fake Democrat attack that was only meant to hurt our country. You will have a negative mark, at least in my mind, against your record. If you want to leave service in the near future, please don't hesitate to do so with no payment or severance of any kind. You will be quickly replaced by true patriots who do a better job on the brand new state-of-the-art equipment, the best in the world. He goes on to say, President Trump announcing this afternoon in the Oval Office that the whole air traffic control system, which, folks, I can tell you as a pilot myself, is so antiquated and obsolete. And actually right now, as we do the show, I'm in the process of getting my flight instructor's license so I can teach people how to fly. I'm a commercial pilot, but thinking of giving back and teaching kids how to fly, which I had given to me when I was a young kid. So as I sit now in the process of out there flying, doing my flight instructor certificate, I know how bad an antiquated our system is. But take a listen to President Trump earlier today, promising some upgrades to some new state-of-the-art technology, which is long needed.
Can you guarantee to Americans that travel is going to go back to normal once the government...
That travel is? Oh, yeah. It'll go better than normal. You know why?
When the government reopens.
Yeah, sure. It'll be much better than normal because we're buying the most sophisticated avionics and, technology for our control towers. And we didn't have that. We had a guy named Buttigieg. Edge, they say is the best way. Just say two edges, like off the edge of a cliff, which is where they were taking us, by the way. Edge was the Secretary of Transportation, and he spent billions of dollars trying to patch together our air traffic control system, which was a conglomeration of all different systems in all different cities. They had hundreds of companies working on it, and they were spending billions of dollars. And when they turned it on, it didn't work. It didn't even work a little bit. That's why you had a helicopter crashing into an airplane, that if we had a great system, bells and whistles would have started going off. So we are now in the process. We're in final bids of getting the finest system anywhere in the world. I've analyzed it. Sean Duffy has been working really hard on it, doing a fantastic job, by the way. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be handing out the finest air traffic control system anywhere in the world. All the towers will be equipped. They were going copper wire into glass wire into other types of wire. And if you knew anything, copper wire doesn't work with glass. Glass doesn't work with other substances. And they spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened. Okay? We're getting the most sophisticated, all brand new. Every control tower will have the same exact system. It'll be the most sophisticated system.
And that should all be music to our ears, folks. Safe air travel is what we need. President Trump also announcing $2,000 dividend checks for the middle class and low class income class Americans. Take a listen.
We're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, people are saying, it's $1 billion. Some people said, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country.
And there you have it. So we'll keep you updated as those come. Not confirmed yet, but we'll have to wait and see what the Supreme Court says on that. But every American may be getting a $2,000 check. I'm not exactly in favor of it. I think we should be paying down our debt, but if President Trump likes it, I guess I like it. And an unlikely Marxist Dem, folks, before we wrap up, caught cheating. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio appears to have ended his most recent relationship after having an affair with an elected official. De Blasio, 64 years old, had been in a 10-month relationship with a 41-year-old lady going public at the fling in February. The lady Const, Namakiri Const, is a progressive activist who has formerly been an investigative reporter for the Young Turks podcast, as well as a campaign surrogate for former Marxist Democrat presidential candidate and current Marxist Democrat Senator Bernie Sanders. Bill de Blasio called it cheating. I can't imagine anyone would date that man in the first place, let alone get with him while he cheated on his girlfriend. The Marxist Dems for you, folks. That is all for us tonight, folks, here on The Great America Show. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. Truth, justice, and the American way, always at the forefront. Happy Monday, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, may God bless you, may God bless America, and may God bless the great, great Lou Dobbs. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. God bless you all.